Magandang araw sa inyong lahat, mga kapuntos. Live naman tayo ngayon sa ating Facebook page, Facebook personal account. Yan mga kaibigan, tatalakayin natin itong Mama Mary and Spiritual Warfare or War. Dahil maraming mga tao na hindi nila alam itong katotohanan na ito. So, ngayong araw na ito, hindi kayo magsisisi. By the way, we're here at Seven Roses Hotel sa Jordan. At papunta tayo sa Petra kung walang baha doon dahil nag-send sa atin na malakas yung daloy ng tubig doon. So, kung walang ulan, makapasok tayo sa one of the oldest cities here in Jordan. So, kasama ko ngayon si Mama Tonya at si Papa Noseng nag-CR pa. No? At ngayon, alas 5 sa umaga, alas 5:17 sa umaga ngayon. At i-greet ko yung taga Bikutan Taguig na nanonood sa atin ngayon, si Tess Mosquito Pamurato at sa kanyang ina si Trudis Mosquito sa Upper Bikutan Taguig. Nandun yun yung kapatid ko na nakatira sa kanila, si Nimrod, yung Gitgano, nanonood sa atin ngayon. So, ngayon mga kapatid, bago tayo mag-breakfast, kahapon pala, ibigay ko sa inyo yung brief na lugar na dinalawan natin. Pumunta tayo sa City of Madaba. Itong City of Madaba is a city of mosaic. Yung mosaic, yung mga art nila ay gamit nila hindi yung yung nakasanayan natin, kundi mga bato. At they will create a wonderful, magnificent paintings, no? At pakita natin sa sa reels ko, nakita niyo naman yung isang babae from the stones of Mount Nebo. So we are here in the city of Madaba. It is located 33 kilometers south of the capital, Amman, and established in an area known for its fertile soil. So grabe yung soil dito, very fertile, at about 774 meters above sea level. The word Madaba, it is written from the Aramaic origin Mediba. The name remained unchanged since it was first mentioned in the stele of the Moabite king Mesha that dated back to 850 BC. The city is also referred in the Old Testament as one of the Moabite cities. So, nandito tayo sa Moabite city. And in the Roman period, the city appears to have developed into a thriving provincial town containing many structures and streets surrounded by columns. A strong wall encircled the city, and bronze coins were produced there during the late 2nd century. So, matagal na ito. Madaba became an important town in the beginning of the Byzantine era. Yung mga Byzantine Council, no? And flourished during the 6th century AD. The city became a post for Christian bishops and even as its own bishop designated to attain high church council meetings. So, yung mga sikat na mga konsilyo. So, dito pala sa Madaba nangyari, no? During the Byzantine era, many large churches were built in Madaba, including, so ito po yung sikat na mga simbahan dito at binibisita natin kapon: Church of the Apostles, Church of the Virgin Mary, and the Church of St. George, also known as the Church of the Map. All the churches, as well as public and private buildings, were lavishly decorated with mosaics depicting scenes from daily life, such as harvest, hunting, and fishing scenes. The mosaics also featured scenes from religious and mythological stories. So, yan po ang binibisita natin. At hindi lang pumupunta tayo sa St. George Church doon, pumunta din tayo sa Mount Nebo. Ang Mount Nebo, alam naman natin na yun ang lugar where Moses viewed the promised land. So, nasa tuktok kami sa mundo. Doon tayo nag-celebrate sa unang misa natin kahapon. At abangan nyo po yung ipopost natin yung ating first mass sa ating YouTube channel at Mount Nebo, where Moses viewed the promised land before he died. So, yung successor niya, alam naman natin si Joshua. They continued from Mount Nebo to the city of Jericho. Yan ang susunod na araw. At itatakol natin yan sa live natin sa susunod na araw para hindi to ordinary tour ang ginagawa natin. It is a spiritual journey. It is a pilgrimage, recognizing the presence of God in the lives of the people of God, the Israelites, and also the present generation. So dun merong malaking structure dun na merong sign of the cross, merong ahas. Yun po ang nangyari sa Old Testament, na kinagat sila ng ahas at maraming namamatay dahil sa poison, sa binom ng ahas. At gumagawa ng tanso na ahas si Moses, at sabi sa Diyos na lahat ng tumitingin dito ay gagaling. So gumawa ng imahin si Moses na may cross at merong ahas na ginagawa niya, image ng ahas. At yan ang dahilan na marami ang gumagaling. At ginagamit din ito ni Kristo sa New Testament. Basahin natin ang John 3, chapter 13 to 14. Ito ang nakasulat, mga kapatid. Sa harap ng simbahan sa Mount Nebo, nasa harap ang malaking structure doon na merong cross, meron ding alarawan ng ahas. At sabi ni Kristo, kinukote niya ito, "No one has ever gone into heaven except the one who came from heaven, the Son of Man. Just as Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness, so the Son of Man must be lifted up." So, kung si Moses ay pinataas na yung image ng bronze serpent, yung tansong ahas, ang anak ng Diyos din ay must be lifted up, the serpent in the wilderness. Even so must in the same manner in other translation, in the same way, in the same manner, in similarity, the Son of Man must be lifted off like what Moses did. Kaya nga meron tayong cross. So sa Old Testament meron siyang bronze serpent. Sa New Testament meron tayong cross. The Son of Man must be lifted up. So merong kahoy na cross at merong ahas. So dito si Moses, very significant ito sa ating buhay. So lahat ng tumitingin kay Moses doon sa tansong ahas ay gumagaling. So in like manner, the Son of Man must be lifted up. So meron tayong image, the cross. Lahat ng simbahan natin merong image of the Son of Man being lifted up. Dahil through the cross of Jesus, He is lifted up. God glorified His Son by crucifixion. Pero hindi yan ang topic natin, no? So, abangan nyo yung update ni Brother Jando patungkol dyan sa ating YouTube channel. Meron tayong video sa ating... So, meron tayong video sa ating ginawa kahapon. So ngayon, ito na ang topic natin ngayon. It is all about Mama Mary and spiritual war. So, nandito po ito sa aklat ni Father Siquia, best-selling author, Father Jose Francisco Siquia. Anong oras na ngayon? So, mga 30 minutes live natin. Mahigit sa 30 minutes. So, marami kayong matutunan dito. No? At Director, Father Jose Francisco C. Siquia, Director, Archdiocese of Manila Office of Exorcism, Exorcist, Volume 2 po ito. Mary, Mama Mary and Spiritual War. Mama Mary is God's most effective weapon against the devil. We find her mentioned from the beginning of the Bible until the end, which is the book of Revelation. Totoo ito. So, Mary is mentioned from the beginning and also as well as in the end of the Bible. Like for instance, in Genesis chapter 3 verse 15. So, hinikayat ko yung lahat ng kahit ibang pananampalataya, makinig kayo. Don't be narrowed. Don't be single-minded. Be open. No? Don't be feeble-minded. Be open. Para maintindihan nyo ang katotohanan sa matagal ng simbahan na itinatag ni Kristo. Just imagine, Mary is mentioned from the beginning as well as in the end of the Bible. Dito sa Genesis chapter 3 verse 15, I will put enmity between the woman and the serpent. I will put enmity. The whole race of the serpents are all of the creatures, the most disagreeable and terrible to mankind, especially to women. But the devil who seduced the woman and his angels are here meant, who are hated and rated by all men. Basahin natin. Genesis chapter. It is a commentary. Yung nabasa ko, it is a commentary. So, here is the literal statement of ayun na yung signal ngayon. Genesis chapter 3 verse 15. Ayun na signal mga kapatid. Dito sa ibaba. Ito. Sabi dito, I will put enmity between you and the woman, between the serpent and the woman, between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. So, hindi na po ito, according to the church fathers, hindi na po ito si Eva. Dahil si Eva, yung offspring, siya po ay na defeat na po sa ahas na ito. Pero itong ahas nito, yung offspring na niya, will crush your head, the head of the serpent. Kaya nga, yung mga image natin sa Legion of Mary, si Mama Mary ay tinapakan na yung ulo ng ahas. No? Dahil siya po itong babaeng ito. I-connect natin sa Revelation chapter 12. Sino ba itong babaeng ito? Dahil it is mentioned from the book of Genesis as well as in the book of the end, book of the Bible, the Revelation. Sino ba itong babaeng ito? Yung serpent naging dragon na dito sa Revelation. A great sign appeared. I am reading Revelation chapter 12. A great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. So, hindi ito basta-basta babaeng ito. Crowned with 12 stars. No? Yung mga generals, military, 5-star, 4-star. Pero iba itong babaeng ito. 12 stars. No? She was pregnant and cried out in pain, and she was about to give birth. Manak itong babaeng ito. The another sign appeared in heaven. So, meron ding nag-appear sa heaven, not only the woman. Ano pa? Enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on its heads. Its tail swept and a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman. So, dito, kita natin yung enmity sa babaeng ito at sa dragon. It is from the beginning of the book Genesis of the Bible. So, at the end of the book of the Bible is still the spiritual war. Kita ninyo yung spiritual war between this woman and the serpent, between this woman and the dragon. So, sino ba itong dragon na ito ating patuloy? Its tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth. So, pinisecute niya itong babaeng ito. So, nung si Mama Mary ay malapit na manganak, di ba? Pinisecute siya ni Herodes. Kaya nga, nag-flight sila to Egypt. So, ito po. So, ang nasa likod sa persecution sa Holy Family is the dragon. The dragon. So, sabi dito, the dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth. So, sabahan niyo po ako. Kung meron kayong Biblia dyan, no? So, she gave birth to a son so that it might devour her child the moment he was born. So, grabe. So, inuusig na talaga ng dragon na ito. Because the enmity is beginning from the Genesis, from the creation of time, from the start of the creation of time. She gave birth to a son, a male child. So ito lang, sino ba itong babaeng ito? Walang iba, si Mary po ito. Sino ba ang nanganak sa lalaking ito? So ang batang ito, she gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter. And her child was snatched up to God and to his throne. The woman fled into the wilderness to place prepared for her by God. So, pumunta sila sa Egypt, di ba? At yan po ang pupuntahan natin ngayon. Kasali yan sa itinerary natin sa ating pilgrimage. So, ngayon mga kapatid, the woman fled into the wilderness to a place prepared for her by God, where she might be taken care of for 1,260 days. Then war broke out in heaven. So meron ng digmaan dun sa langit. Michael and his angel fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angel fought back. But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. So, they became fallen angels. So, nahulog yung mga demonyo sa langit. So, huwag kayong magsaya kung tawagin kayo na hulog ka sa langit, sister, hulog ka sa langit, brother. Dahil yung nahulog sa langit, yung mga demonyo. Huwag kang magsaya. Kung meron magsasabi sa'yo, ikaw, father, hulog ka sa langit. Yung nahulog sa langit, walang iba. Yung demonyo lang. No? So, let's continue reading. But he was not strong enough. So, yung demonyo. And they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down, the ancient serpent. So, itong dragon pala ay yung ancient serpent. So, na-connect na natin sa Old Testament. At itong proto-evangelium na merong babae, merong offspring ng isang babaeng ito, natatapak sa ulo ng serpent na ito, yung ahas nito. Walang iba. Ang ating Panginoong Jesucristo po yan. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil. Ito pala, yung dragon ay ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. Siya pala ang dahilan kung bakit maraming mga tao ngayon ay nawala na sa landas. He was hurled to the earth and his angels with him. So ngayon, ang digmaan nito, kaya nga, ang digmaan natin ay hindi against human beings, but against spiritual warfare. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven say, "Now have you come the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Messiah. For the accuser of our brothers and sisters who accuses them before our God day and night has been hurled down." So nandito na yung mga accuser. Yung mga demonyo na nandito na sa sanglibutan natin. They triumph over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has gone down to you. He is filled with fury, because he knows that his time is short. No? Malapit na magunaw. Malapit na yung defeat ng demonyo. When the dragon saw that he had been hurled to the earth, He pursued the woman. So, grabe niya yung galit ng babaeng ito. So, kung grabe yung galit mo sa babaeng ito, grabe yung pag-atake mo sa babaeng ito, you are part of the disciples of the serpents, the disciples of the dragon. No? So, grabe. Yung mga grupo o mga Kristiyano baga na hindi tumatanggap sa role ni Mama Mary, they are disciples of the dragon. They are disciples of the serpent. Tingnan no, yung wordings dito, kahit hindi natin ipaliwanag, linaw pa sa sikat ng araw. When the dragon saw that he had been hurled to the earth, he pursued the woman. So, nung inatake niya, yung babaeng ito, who had given birth to the male child, the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle. Binigyan siya ng kapangyarihan, so that she might fly to the place prepared for her in the wilderness, where she would be taken care of for times and a half a time out of the serpent's reach. Then from his mouth the serpent spewed water like a river to overtake the woman and swept her away with a torrent. But the earth helped the woman by opening its mouth and swallowing the river that the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. Then the dragon was enraged at the woman and went. So, anong enraged? Galit na galit. Yung demonyo sa babaeng ito. And went off to wage war. Ito na, no? The rest of her offspring. Those who kept God's commands and hold fast their testimony about Jesus. So, ngayon, meron talaga itong role itong babaeng ito sa buhay natin. Yan, nandyan yan sa kasulatan. At pinatunayan ito not only from the scripture as well as the great saints in heaven. In the lives of the saints, we see this reality of Mama Mary's great role in spiritual warfare. Nandyan sa kasulatan, bago lang natin binasa. Saint Pius X states, "Let the storm rage and the sky darken, not for that shall be dismayed. If we trust as we should in Mary, we shall recognize in her the Virgin most powerful, who with virginal foot did crush the head of the serpent." So, totoo po ito. Kahit sa ating experience, hindi ito theological concept, galing lang sa mga apostoles, galing lang sa mga banal na tao, but it is a spiritual reality. Not only spiritual concept, but spiritual reality, mga kaibigan. Saint Maximilian Kolbe, who was martyred during the Second World War, states that modern times are dominated by Satan. Related po ito sa Revelation. Sabi dito, but woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has gone down to you. He is filled with fury, galit na galit, because he knows that his time is short. Ito po ang sinasabi din ni Saint Maximilian. Modern times are dominated by Satan, and will be more so in the future. So ngayon, we are dominated by Satan, more so in the future. The conflict with hell cannot be engaged by men, even the most clever. Hindi natin kaya na makipagdigmaan sa demonyo, even to the most intelligent human being here on earth. Sabi ni Maximilian Kolbe, the Immaculata alone, Mama Mary alone has from God the promise of victory over Satan. Totoo po ito. She seeks souls who will consecrate themselves entirely to her. So ngayon, mga kaibigan, let us consecrate our day to the Immaculate Conception, Immaculate Heart of Mary, to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, her offspring, na yayatak sa ulo o sa ulo ni Satanas. In her hands, effective instrument for the defeat of Satan and the spreading of God's kingdom upon on earth. Grabe talaga yung role ni Mama Mary, no? Kung naunawaan lang ito, the greatest defense, the greatest armor against Satan is Jesus through Mama Mary. Grabe. Nasa kasulatan yan. Kinuquote pa natin. At alam nyo, meron akong magandang experience. For 12 years, hindi siya na-liberate ng demonyo. For 12 years. Isa sa pasyente natin. For 12 years, hindi na-liberate ng demonyo. Pero nung nahinog yung devotion niya, yung consecration niya, bago lang, na-liberated siya hanggang ngayon. Hindi na siya hinaras ng demonyo. Anong story niya sa kanyang buhay? Itong nangyari, mga kapatid. Ang ganda nitong experience na ito. Anong nangyari, mga kapatid? Many times na kami nag-deliverance sa kanya, nag-exercise sa kanya. Just imagine, 12 years siya nagdusa sa harassment ng demonyo. Iba't ibang karamdaman ang naramdaman niya. Hindi siya nagamot sa doktor dahil hindi natural yung karamdaman niya. But preternatural. It is beyond natural, mga kapatid. Alam nyo, nung pumunta siya sa office natin, grabe yung pag-iyak niya. Sinabihan niya si Mama Mary dun sa Blessed Tabernacle sa harap ni Kristo. Mama Mary, di ba sabi mo ni Saint Bridget, ni Saint Bernadette, na kung hihingi kami sa'yo, kung i-consecrate namin yung buhay namin sa'yo, makatanggap ako ng spiritual benefits. So, nag-pray siya doon, February 9, sa taong ito, February 9. Sabi niya, Mama Mary, umiiyak siya sa harap. Yung petition niya, yung pag-ask na ng intercession sa maling ina, kasali na yung pag-iyak niya, yung mga luha niya. Mama Mary, tulungan niyo po ako. Nahihirapan na po ako. Parang malapit na akong mag-give up. Grabe na, hopeless na siya. Lumapit siya sa Monday na February 9, 2023. At pag February 10, ay deliverance ko siya, ina-exercise kahit pag kaunting holy water lang, holy and exercise water, grabe mawala na. Grabe, violenting itong lalaki ito. Kung mag-start na ng exorcism. Kahit yung upuan namin na matigas, nasira, nawasak. At yung dalawang apat na limini stairs, alam nyo, binuhat niya. Naalsa niya. Yung apat na limini stairs, mga malaking mga lalaki. So namangha talaga sila. Ang lakas ng lalaking ito. Ang lakas ng mga demonyo na nasa loob ng binatilyong ito. Alam nyo, when he consecrated his life to Mama Mary, sinabihan niya, Mama Mary, malapit na yung malapit na yung fiesta mo, February 11. Sana matanggap na ko na yung inaasam ko. Matanggap ko na yung total liberation ko, absolute liberation ko from the evil spirit. Just imagine, Mama Mary, 12 years na ako nagdusa, Mama Mary. Sana hilingin mo sa iyong anak na totally ma-liberate na ako. Anong nangyari, mga kapatid? Sa February 10, so February 9 siya, umihingi sa Ren, sabay luha sa kanyang mga mata. Alam niyo, mga kapatid, ano nangyari? Sa February 10, nung ini-exercise namin siya, grabe, dubli yung reaction niya. Bumabayulante lalo itong binatilyong ito. At sa February 10 ng gabi, pumunta siya sa Blessed Sacrament. Umiiyak na naman siya doon. At nakatulog siya doon. February 10. Mahimbing siyang nakatulog at merong nagpakita sa kanya. Ano bang nagpakita sa kanya? Isang babae. Yung ang tawag yung sas ba yun? Yung kanyang blue. Our Lady of Lords, di ba? Our Lady of Lords. Yung kanyang dito ay blue. At alam nyo, hindi lang nagpakita itong babaeng ito. No? Niyakap pa siya ng mahigpit. Damang-daman niya yung yakap sa babaeng ito. No? Damang-daman niya yung yakap. Alam nyo, mahigpit na mahigpit yung yakap sa babaeng ito. Yun po ay Our Lady of Lords. Dahil blue yung ano niya. Ang tawag dito, yung bakos. No? Yung parang belt. Blue. Napakita ito sa kanya. At hindi lang nagpakita sa kanya, niyakap pa siya ng mahigpit. At nakatulog siya. At alam nyo, tapos nitong pangyayari ito, grabe yung ginhawa. Inner peace, hindi niya maintindihan. Inner joy. Authentic peace. No? Sa sunod na araw, February 11, dahil araw-araw ko siya ini-exercise. Sa February 11, alam nyo, nang magsimula na kami sa exorcism, completely, absolutely liberated na po ang taong ito. No? Grabe. Totoo talaga itong sinabi ng isang santo. No? Grabe yung kasiyahan niya. Grabe yung kagalakan niya. Sabi ni Saint Alphonsus de Ligori, recourse to Mary, then, is the surest way of overcoming all the attacks of hell. And he also mentioned that the demons of hell stay away from those happy souls who breathe forth the fragrance of the devotion to Mama Mary. This concords with what Saint Louise de Montfort teaches us. While Mary is present, the devil one is absent. Just imagine the happy souls who breathe forth the fragrance of devotion of Mary. The demons of hell stay away from those happy souls. So, grabe mga kapatid. No? So, grabe mga kapatid. How to destroy the attacks of Satan through the devotion of Mama Mary. At dahil doon, yung banatilyong ito, sobra niyang kasiyahan, sobra niyang galak, dahil sa katotohanan na ito. No? Grabe. At sana, ngayong araw na ito, ay you are inspired with my experience, with the teachings of the Bible, and with also the teachings of the saints who are in line with the Word of God. At sabi ni Saint Bridget, in the revelation made by Saint Bridget, she was taught that God made Mary so powerful against the devils that whenever they attack someone who has called upon Mary for help, they are immediately terrified and leave off molesting that soul. So ngayon mga kapatid, dagdagan natin yung devotion natin sa mahal na ina. Kung meron kang problema, make a sincere devotion to Our Lady. Because siya po ang the greatest gift of the Father to us. The greatest gift of the Father to us is His Son and His Mother. The Mother of our soul. The Mother of God. So, wala na akong oras mga kapatid. Maraming salamat pala sa nagpadala ng stars, no? So, maraming salamat sa inyo. Malaking tulong po yan sa ating evangelization at sa inyong lahat na nandito. Fight Team Maria, Tatak sa FD with a humble heart. Kasama ko si Papa Nosing, nandito. Say hi pa. Pupunta na siya sa Jordan.
Hi.
Oo, si Mama Tonya. No? So, first time nila nakapunta dito sa ibang bansa at sa Holy Land pa. No? Oo, tiyan, dahil libre sila. No? So, maraming salamat ni Ate Nonette, Madrian yan Bolo, at sa ating mga kasamahan dito sa Ulan, no? Si Tinta kami, ang dami namin. So, hindi ko na mabasa yung ano ninyo dahil mag-breakfast muna kami ngayon. At we are bound to the oldest city here in Jordan, the Petra. God bless po. So, ang lamig dito, mga kapatid.